Lighthouse Title, now located at 321 Settlers Road, Suite 120 in Holland, is proud to sponsor the 2020 virtual Tulip Time. Started in Holland in 2001, the Lighthouse Title Group network has expanded to over 30 locations to close at. For more information on why you should choose Lighthouse Title, call 616-393-9240 or visit lighthousetitle.net.
The 90th Tulip Time Festival Quality Car Wash Music Parade is brought to you on 99.7 and 1450 WHTC, along with WHTC.com, by Lighthouse Title Group. Buying and selling real estate is difficult enough without any last-minute surprises. That's why it's so important to choose the title company that regards flawless service as the highest priority, Lighthouse Title Group. The Quality Car Wash Music Parade is presented on WHTC by Compound Door. Supporting sponsors of the Quality Car Wash Music Parade on WHTC are Randy's Carpet Care, Bouchelle Sales, Metal Flow, Vanderveen's Dutch Store, Earl's Meats, Nature's Market, The Windmill Restaurant, Van Wieren Hardware, and Maple View Animal Hospital. Now, let's join Nick Weber live from the Elhart Automotive Group broadcast booth in downtown Holland for the Quality Car Wash Music Parade on 99.7 and 1450 WHTC, along with WHTC.com.
Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. You asked for it. We've got it. It's all coming your way. It's the Music Parade 2019. Nick Weber, Gary Stevens.
Yes, sir.
Doing the honors here this afternoon, and we will be your eyes and ears, and we thank you for joining us. And we've got a boatload of people here this afternoon, Gary.
A very large crowd, and I don't want to make an estimate as to how many it is, but definitely 5 figures in terms of the thousands that are here.
It's nice to see everything full.
Yes.
Oh, if you're joining us for the first time, we've had a wonderful parade on Wednesday. It was a little bit chilly, had a little bit of rain. Mm-hmm. The sun kind of came out on Thursday for the Kinder Parade. That worked out pretty well. But today, we've got a really nice field down here for both the spectators and for the participants. And they got a little bit longer to go today. They're going to go 2.25 miles all the way from Columbia, all the way down 8th Street, all the way to Count 24.
It's still the longest parade by distance in the state. For a long time, it was the longest parade by distance in the state.
But whatever it is, we're thankful that you're joining us here. And again, we want to say thanks to, here comes the planes overhead again, and that's kind of cool. You can hear that in the background.
Yep.
And that's always the fun part down here to get things started. Of course, you know, the steel band going by just a few minutes ago, normally we would have the featured bands that come through. Mm-hmm. And today we had the steel band coming, steel band, and they will be here at 3:30 on the corner of College and 8th Street, and they will perform from 3:30 until 4 o'clock. No charge. The place will be packed right across from
at the end of the end of the parade.
Yeah, just get back over there, and if you're down here, get on over there. They'll have that place rocking. Steel band out of Petoskey High School. They are worth the price of admission.
With Nick Weber is alongside. My name is Gary Stevens. Kevin Oswald down below. He is handling the video. We'll have that on our website at WHTC.com, hopefully over the weekend due to circumstances we can't explain. But we cannot do it live, but that's okay. We'll have the full parade up. And Ben Weidgarten, our producer, back in our studios about 2 blocks away.
Well, this is going to be sponsored by Quality Car Wash, and we want to thank them for their participation. And for all of our sponsors, we want to thank those guys like Lighthouse Title Group, by Compound Door, by Elhart Automotive Group, Love's Travel Stops and Country Store, Randy's Carpet Care, Bouchelle Sales. And again, we want to say a special thanks to the bus drivers who get the kids down here to and from school, the teachers who've been involved in this thing for not only connecting what happens in the classroom to Tulip Time, but also getting the kids down here and marching with them. The Holland Police Department, we have the state police down here, we have Ottawa County down here. They make this a safe environment. In fact, if I look up here,
we have some of the finest
up on the tops of the building, protecting, making sure.
Yes.
All the parent volunteers, the Red Cross, and of course the admin down here. And I want to thank Nancy DeBoer for her role in helping coordinate what happens in the city of Holland with what happens down here. And again, we just say thank you to so many people, especially those of you that are residents that have been inundated by so many people. Since last week, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday was absolutely gorgeous. We had people all over down here. And again, we just thank you for being a great host town. And as I've said before, Gary, there's 3 things about Tulip Time that have been true for 90 years. Number 1, the tulips are great. Number 2, the people of Holland are welcoming. And number 3, this is a great city to come and visit.
Before we get our first group coming in, which will be the Veterans of Foreign Wars, along with the Holland Public Safety Color Guard, I would be remiss if I didn't kick myself in the head. Looking back, and I've remembered it yesterday on the morning news and also subbing for Talk of the Town. About 15 years ago, the late Randy Vanderwater did a series called Down Tulip Lane, where he went and recalled some of the highlights of the Tulip Time Festival over the years. And I played some excerpts, not only on my show, but also on Talk of the Town. And he was talking about the late 1930s when Hollywood stars would be coming up here.
And he had what they were wearing. He had a tie, a checkered coat, and all that kind of. I caught that on the show.
Yeah, and I'm not certain if Holland Furnace is going to have their little thing.
They had it in here on
Wednesday.
On the boat parade. That is correct. Yep.
And Holland Furnace helped sponsor these Hollywood stars.
They got them. They brought them in. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they had a special police escort and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
And they flew in, not into.
There was no Tulip City Airport.
No, they were at Park Township Airport. I know, that's cool. So things have changed a lot over the years. But
and speaking of Hollywood in Holland, all accounts received. Jay Leno well received last night over at Central Wesleyan Auditorium. Our Brian Allen from the Lake Shores Wake Up Call at the Lake Shores 92.7 The Van introduced him, and a nice photo with Jay afterward.
Cool.
Couldn't speak highly about the class gentleman he has. It won't be on during the parade there, Nick. I was thinking, would have been nice if Jay would have been able to get maybe 1 or 2 of his vintage autos from his collection drive down here.
You know, I want to say thanks to Ginger Z, who came in from ABC, the Good Morning America show. She was here.
Grand Marshal.
And then we had, I think it's Hannah and Joel Rogers were here. And, of course, they're descendants of Lyda Rogers, who got this thing started back in 1929.
And the Grand Marshal today we'll talk about in a few minutes. Because members of the Veterans of Foreign Wars Color Guard leading the parade with their multicolored motorcycles, wearing orange scarves. And by the way, we are adorning orange today.
I've got orange shoes on.
Yes.
I'm the only guy with orange shoes in town.
Behind the Color Guard will be the department commander of the VFW, along with the District 8 commander, the Post 2144 commander, and the department auxiliary president. We are located just about a building west of Central Avenue, right on 8th Street, and we can look right straight down eastbound 8th Street. And yes, Nick and I have the photos up, and we'll have a gallery of some of the scenes from our unique perspective, looking down on the Tulip Time Festival here at on 8th Street here on 99.7 and 1450 WHTC. Following the Veterans of Foreign Wars with the Color Guard.
And people stand in respect for what they're done.
And they applaud, and it's just nice to see a couple of members of Holland's finest in the Segways.
Getting a nice hand from the crowd.
See the Segways without thinking about Paul Blart, Mall Cop. That movie with Kevin James many years ago. And it will be later on this month when we'll have the parade going east on 8th Street for the Memorial Day parade ahead of the Pilgrim Home Cemetery service, which will carry here on 99.7 and 1450 WHTC. So we're underway for the Quality Car Wash Music Parade and the Tulip Time Festival. 90th. Time Festival.
Unbelievable. Nice hand here for the Veterans of Foreign Wars.
And the VFW Department of Michigan Auxiliary President Sandy Matos is with us, and we welcome Sandy. Now comes the Holland American Legion Band, the 99th anniversary year for the Holland American Legion Band.
Actually, what it says on there, Gary, is celebrating 100 years.
But that will be in 2020.
2020. Very good. So we got one more year yet.
There's
Rich Nagelkirk right in the middle. Got to give him a shout out.
Let's listen if the band will perform. We've had some good luck, and other times all we've had is the drums going by here.
There's Ken Voss. Tulip Time brought to you in part by our good friends at Metal Flow, by Vanderbean's Dutch Store, Earl Meats, Nature's Market, Windmill Restaurant, Mapleview Animal Hospital, and Van Weren's Hardware. And again, as you stop in to see these folks during the year, let them know how much you appreciate listening to the parades on WHTC.
The Quality Car Wash Music Parade, the presenting sponsors indeed, Quality Car Wash. 7 locations, Quality Car Wash, Tommy's Car Wash, variety of services, Holland, Muskegon, Granville. And stop by their newest location, Tommy's Car Wash, over on Chicago Drive between Maine and Cottonwood in Jenison.
Started by the Essenberg and still run by the Essenberg family.
And my wife loves Tommy's and Quality because you can just drive in. You don't have to align the car.
It takes care of itself.
Just drive it in. All right, I am going to leave the Grand Marshal to you, Mr. Weaver.
Well, John Carson, he's been doing this for 41 years. And if you've ever met him and his family, he's dedicated a lot of his time and effort to Holland activities for many years. And, hey, John, this is for you. This is for you, John. It is. It's a pleasure having you and your wife. Thank you.
And in respect of Mr. John Carson, the International Town Criers have been in with the competition yesterday at the Hearing of Holland Civic Center.
And who will replace John, I guess, will be the next.
Good question.
Maybe Brent Allen.
Members of the Tulip Time Board of Directors and Hardy Souls, they are in variety of muscle and
convertibles,
vintage cars and convertibles. We thank them for their service. Tim Vreeman is the chairman of the board. BOARD, people. Great people. Thank you for your service.
There's Lyle Aaronsworth, one of the volunteers here today. And again, we thank all these guys behind the scene. There's Tulip Time stuff, and we've got people volunteering throughout here. We got medical, but we have volunteers that help get this stuff organized, get this stuff in order, and keep it moving. And we just thank them for their participation.
Keep in mind, the Tulip Time Festival is a nonprofit organization. It's run by volunteers for the most part. There is the staff, Gwen O'Werder and her staff, but it's a labor of love for many people.
What is the bottom line dollar figure that they estimate that this brings in?
43 million.
48. Close enough.
Close enough.
But again, we just thank you. Holland High School being represented here again.
And speaking of Holland High School, driving the director is the superintendent of Holland High School, Dr. Brian Davis.
Hey, you're pretty good with names, Gary.
Yes.
You know, this might be a full-time job for you. And I want to thank all of the car dealers like Elhart who've been providing vehicles, Crown. I mean, we just really appreciate them donating these vehicles to pull these things. It's kind of cool.
And the float has members of the Holland City Council will be coming up in a little bit. But first, it is the Holland High School Marching Dutchman Band.
Mr. Bigby himself. How you doing, Mark?
Under the direction of Beverly Van Oss. Of course, the Tiptoe Through the Tulips.
I like the honor guard down here. These guys are not they're not 15
the kids
anymore. They're the kids. They're
alumni.
Adults. Yep, I gotta love it.
And keep in mind that not only do they march in the wooden shoes, the high kick, but it is very distinctive. And
great way to start this parade. You know what?
Somewhat appropriately. Yep. You've mentioned it.
Chuck Bullard left a great legacy, and we're going to pick it up.
distinctive, Nick Weber.
It is all Holland.
Next up, the members of the Holland City Council, Mayor Nancy DeBoer, and the other 8 council members. And we're glad that they are with us for the 90th Tulip Time Festival and the Music Parade. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you.
Appreciate all that they do for the city of Holland. There's Quincy Bird right there in the middle. Hi, Quincy.
Now the Dutch dancers.
And these guys have done a great job. All the way since January, they've been working on this stuff. And here they are getting a little presentation, doing a little dancing, and a nice warm welcome from the crowd.
One of the nicest people in the entire world you ever want to meet is Carolyn Stitch.
No way. Is she an artist or something?
She won the Art and Bloom contest. We're in the Enduring Delft. Couldn't have picked a better winner, the Carolyn Stitch Studio, followed by our friends from Huntington Bank. They're more than 150 years old, and many of the parade walkers here at Huntington locations across the Holland area. And by the way,
what's that?
This big truck.
Yes.
An actual frozen treat truck that passes out ice cream at events throughout West Michigan, as well as making stops at branches to serve customers on hot days.
And here comes, for the second time,
they came early.
And they're going to stay late.
Yes. The Petoskey Steel Drum Band. And let's hear them. They are distinctive. It's kind of tough to follow that, Nick Weber. But Jennifer Spalding, Miss Wheelchair Michigan 2019, is in front of us. Jennifer, welcome. With her as well as Little Miss Wheelchair Michigan, Rosalind Breen. He's got a car that he can ride in, but I'll tell you right now, Fred Upton likes to walk. The St. Joseph Republican. We welcome Fred Upton. We'll talk to him Tuesday on the WHTC Morning News. We like our Dutch here, Nick Weber.
We do.
Where I used to work, they like their German, as in Frankenmuth. And the Bavarian Princess saying hello to us and welcoming them to Little Bavaria June 6th through the 9th for the Frankenmuth Bavarian Festival.
And what we will have today is a number of different events that'll take place in different communities around the state of Michigan coming in, events that are coming up.
A couple of members of the Douglas Dutchers Baseball Club. They performed earlier this week. I still like the fact that they don't play with soaking. You know what soaking is? You could get somebody up by throwing the baseball and hitting them. They stopped that real fast. Too many brawls. Lakeside Vista, independent living, assisted living, and memory care at our community. 394-0302 for Lakeside Vista.
That's a beautiful facility right up there by Ridge Point and Emmanuel Church. Used to be Hospice of Holland, but changed over.
West Michigan Regional Airport has a very nice orange with a butterfly on its plane.
Now this is new, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
At least as far as the float this year. It's nice to have them represented today.
And in honor of West Ham United, they're blowing bubbles.
And butterflies all over it, yes.
Thing. State Representative Mary Whiteford represents Allegan County.
Now you interview her, and of course I always enjoy listening to the interviews that you have with all the politicians.
Right. And Mary will be back in town Monday. She will be chatting with us on WHTC's
you better give a shout out
Talk
to her.
of the Town at 10:30 this Monday morning.
She'll be here. And here comes the color guard. Kinder took the day off, but Adam Israels was right in the middle down there, not smiling. And that's good to see these guys through again. Holland Police Department doing an outstanding job along with Ottawa County and State Police.
The next presentation is Holland in Bloom, but before we do that, we want to talk about the flowers, the star of the show. People love the flowers. But some of our friends who maybe they don't know some of the things we do around here. Wow, it's a great flower. I'll take it home. No, no, no. You're not supposed to, leave the flowers in there because there's a special time to help Holland in Bloom coming up on June 1st.
And that's going to be dig your own. You take a bucket. I think it's $10
Yep.
for a 5-gallon bucket. And all the places that the tulips are in place by the city of Holland, don't go to somebody's yard and start digging them out. They might be upset with you. But anyway, that's a great opportunity to get out and help us out.
And another thing that's helping Holland in Bloom is the Wizard of Oz exhibit. Next year, when visitors come for the 91st, they will have statues of the Wizard of Oz characters in Centennial Park and the yellow brick road from Centennial Park to Herring.
How do you like the wooden shoes that we have all over? I think
Very nice.
There's 40 sets of them or something like that.
Very
There's
nice.
competition, and
All right.
I think that's added nice.
Thumbs up for Planet Fitness, the judgment-free zone.
The purple people eaters.
Well, I know we're supposed to all be in orange, but we'll give Planet Fitness a pass.
We'll give them a pass, yes.
Now it's time for Nick Weaver's favorite men and women, the Panthers of West Ottawa High School.
Mike Hammond, Jay Gansford, and we'll pick them up. And we'll pick up some of the music from the West Ottawa Marching Band, and they're smiling today because the West Ottawa School District just approved a $98 million bond issue to help bring them back into the 90s.
The Marching Panthers of West Ottawa High School. I would say about 150 strong.
At least, yep.
First division ratings at District Band Festival for the past 25 years in a row, Nick Weaver. Not bad.
All started with guys like Tom Uppergraff, Gary Lucas, Kerry Wheeler, Dean Christopher, who passed away about 5 years ago, did an outstanding job, and now Mike Hammond and Ganford. Oh, here comes the voice from De Boer's Baccarat. I told them they got to get it together. Yep.
Country. Two amazing locations, one on the north side, that's traditional, one in the Holland area.
There's Jay.
Serving breakfast at lunch at De Boer's.
Gotta love it, yep.
And the De Boer's truck. Look for them, along with the...
Hey, Jake.
He's right. He's cycling on the bike.
And the De Boer Bakery.
The food
Gotta
truck.
love it.
You got to have a food truck these
And
days.
there's Jake on a motorcycle.
Where Fred Upton
Yep.
walks with his tennies, Bill Heisinger does not. He's got the wooden cloppers going.
Full Dutch.
The 5-term state U.S. House representative from Zeeland.
Now, you know, if you've ever been in the Netherlands, I mean the Netherlands, you'll see this all over. People just, they're wearing these shoes when they work out in the fields and stuff. And over here, they come out during Tulip Time week. That's about it.
Holland Town Center has re-imaged itself and done a very nice job. Thank you very much. Our friends on the north side, Holland Town Center.
Tulip Time 2019, the music parade brought to you in part by Lighthouse Title Group, by Compound Door, by Elhart Automotive, Love's Travel Stops and Country Store, Randy's Carpet Care, and Buchel Sales and Lou. Thank you for all you do. Yep.
And among the places that are in the Holland Town Center, the law offices, the Holland area law offices of David Carrier, whom you hear every Saturday morning 8 to 10 right here on 99.7 and 1450 WHTC. All right, this is where you earn your beverages. The Bike and Bar from New Holland Brewery.
Keep it between the lines.
Yes, and they do very well. Thank you very much. But they're making sure the vehicle moves forward with 8-person power instead of 8 horsepower.
Now this Chan's martial arts been around quite a while.
Chan's Martial Arts, family owned and operated since 2003.
So they've been around a good 16 years. That's cool. Yep. We got quite a group here today.
From kids as young as 3 through the adult years, it's Chan's Martial Arts. Let me do a quick check here. We're under 55-degree weather here in downtown Holland under cloudy skies. Not bad at all. I caught some flack because I mistakenly said that Smokey drove a Camaro. No, he drove a Trans Am. But it's in honor of Camaros of Michigan. 6 generations of Camaros. Some of the early ones to some of the more recent ones you can hear in the background.
But these are still muscle cars.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they raise money for charities such as the American Cancer Societies, the Diabetes Association, Hospice of Holland, CamarosofMichigan.com. Check them out online. I see red, white, garnet, yellow, green, yellow, and red. I don't see orange. Uh-oh. Heads will roll.
Well, you're wearing orange.
But I'm looking at the cars here.
Yeah, I hear you.
You know, heads will roll. We got, I would say, about 5-6 people deep.
You might be a little. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're all the way to the walls. People can hardly walk through, which is it's good. That's good.
Yep.
There's Buzzy B on the back of that one. Howdy.
Yep. The hornets sting. Although, well. Next up, it is the Marching Maroons of Holland Christian High School.
Scott Vandenberg, the director.
As they're about ready to reach our location. And
again, if you just joined us, you know that the bands will take place leading the local bands, Holland Christian, West Ottawa, and Holland High School, take turns leading the different parades on Wednesday, Thursday, and then today.
And Holland Christian did the honors on Wednesday.
That is correct. So they all get a chance to be first place.
All right, here we go. Let's listen to the Holland Christian High School Marching Maroons. Say hello to our friends from Walker. It is WZZM TV 13, the ABC affiliate for Grand Rapids, media partner of the Tulip Time Festival.
There's Aaron.
George Lessons. Here comes Dutch. Hope College. Proud to be a part of the Tulip Time Festival. They had their 154th graduation ceremony this past Saturday.
And there's my neighbor, Millie Hudgens.
Good to see Dutchin in here.
Millie! Hey, Millie!
And the embarrassment is now seen.
Nice. Yeah, what a great relationship between Hope College and the city of Holland.
Members of the 3rd Michigan Infantry Company Civil War reenactors based in West Michigan and Granville area. Of course, the reenactment every year over at the Van Raalte Farms.
And Dr. Luschner right in the middle down here. And here comes...
speaking about another media outlet, our friends from
Channel
College Hill over at WOD TV. Phil Steffen is there as well.
Phil's a good man, yep. Howdy, guys.
They're trying to get their studio refurbished. They're
Hey,
doing all
Bill.
the work downstairs in downtown right now. Wood TV8.
You got it, Bill.
Hidden Creek Community's got a couple of distinctive vehicles.
Those are nice vehicles.
Well, Holland's
Those are-
premier age restricted 55 plus communities, Hidden Creek Community.
And here comes Jay Ginsford, who will be leading the West Ottawa 8th grade band. This is a combination of both Harbor Lights and Makatawa Bay.
And this is the band that my family has a vested interest in.
Let's see if we can find him.
He'll be on the drums. Not the big drum, but and he's the tallest one, and he doesn't want to be seen. He's got the sunglasses on.
I got him. Yeah.
The Harbor Lights Makatawa Bay 8th grade band.
Got a basketball player in the family?
I'm not certain. But the blush is there. A 1936 Chevy Stake rack truck is coming by, a replica of the first truck that was used by Hendrick and Fred Meyer to transport groceries to their first store in Greenville. It's restored, presented to Fred on his 75th birthday. 246 stores throughout the region. Meyer.
Fred Meyer, very much involved in the restoration of bike paths and institution of bike paths throughout Michigan, the Frederick Meyer Bike Path. That's really cool. Thank you for his contribution there. Next we have what, Gary?
The Red Flannel Festival. Zoe Castor, the festival queen. Welcome, Zoe. The Red Flannel Festival, our friends from Cedar Springs, first Saturday in October. Then comes vehicles from the Vintage Car Club of Holland. Glad to have them with us today. Formed in 1974.
That car is 108 years old.
Club meets 7:30 p.m. fourth Tuesday of each month at the Holland City Fire Station number 2.
Howdy.
It's the Holland Vintage. It's the Vintage Club Car. Vintage Car Club.
That's close
of
enough.
Holland. Some of the old ones. And Mr. Don will be pleased seeing some of these 1950s.
I think that's
vintage.
a DeSoto right there, if I'm not mistaken.
1962 Impala. And then
this down here is a Chevrolet, about a 1955, 1956 Chevy.
Yep.
Bel Air, maybe. Let's check it out. Got a nice engine.
Yep.
Ooh, that's vintage right here.
Yeah. And then a vintage fire truck.
I'd like to have one of those in your garage.
Well,
You'd have to have a big garage.
Elsinga and Volkers have made a name for themselves with their 2 mobile wooden shoes.
That is quite a piece of art, isn't it? There's a little bit of a Yui, and nobody there to give him a ticket
Our
for that
good friend Ryan Gurrick, I think, was involved in the construction of that.
It's a great addition to the Tulip Time parades. I like what it says, unmistakably Elsinga and Volkers, and that is absolutely correct.
We got the recruiters, the U.S. Army recruiters from the Armory up on 28th Street in Wyoming.
Tulip Time 2019, the music parade brought to you by our friends at Metal Flow, by Vanderveen's Dutch Store, Earl's Meats, Nature's Market, Windmill Restaurant, home of the omelet, hash brown omelet, Mapleview Animal Hospital, and McWearin's Hardware. Next we have
the Holland Rotary Club. First time in 165 years, the Wakazu returned to Holland. On the float, the Wakazu elders and the direct great-great-grandson of Chief Wakazu.
Isn't that cool?
Welcome. The Holland Rotary Club. Our friends from up in Zeeland, Moody Radio, 89.3 WGNB. Is next up. Now, the next entry is the most unique entry in the music parade. It's by My Auto Group and Subaru of Muskegon, and they get the most unique entry. It's the first time they've been with us.
Oh, that's cool.
And they will definitely get a photo, and we'll have that on our photo gallery on our website at WHTC.com a little bit later on today. Subaru of Muskegon off of Easternburg Road. Next up, good people. Bethany Christian Services, 75th year. One of the nation's largest private adoption agencies with offices in 36 states and on 4 continents worldwide. 260 children and teens in the state waiting to be adopted. Bethany Christian Services. All right, 2 divisions down. We have 4 more to go.
Well, Tulips came to, Albertus Finrolthi came to Holland in 1846. We said leader. It was Lida Rogers that started this in 1927. Here we go with some more military as people stand up.
They
pay
salute
tribute.
the U.S. Marine Color Guard ahead of the Lakeshore Toys for Tots, serving an area of approximately 5,500 square miles. Last Christmas season, collected and distributed over 36,000 toys. We had 3 times the amount of toys collected at our facility.
Outstanding. Yep.
The year before. Thank you, not only the U.S. Marines, but the Marine Color, the Toys for Tots effort.
And the crowd stands at his feet to honor our military.
The former Zeeland Township Supervisor, the former Ottawa County Treasurer, he's Bradley Slaw. He is the first-term Republican State Representative.
I bet you've
This
interviewed
district
him
is
a couple times, haven't you?
I have, not only in his capacities, in his 2 previous capacities, but his current one as well. Bradley will be on Talk at the Town later this month.
I want to take this opportunity again to ask people to consider coming down and watching that Petoskey Steel Band at 3:30. College and 8th Street for a half-hour show.
Exactly.
Got to see that.
Time for the Marching Ducks, the Marching Chicks. They get together for the Zeeland High School Marching Band. 2 directors, Pujan Badarai and Lucas Cure.
Well, with Keith Walker retiring, they had to hire 2 people to fill in for what an outstanding job he's done with this band.
As they get closer, let's hear the Marching Zeeland High School Band. Next up, Tony Castillo's Holland McDonald's Restaurants, with locations on 8th Street, Riley Street, and River Avenue on Holland's north side. And I'm not certain it's Tony behind the wheel, but we certainly welcome our friends from Mickey D's.
These guys are working out here.
The MVP Athletic Club offers a wide variety of group fitness classes. They held a Tulip Time event just last Friday.
Oh, cool.
Week ago Friday.
If those guys are hauling that truck, which they might be, 2.5 miles or 2.25 miles of doing that, they're going to be in pretty good shape when they get done.
I think so.
That's why we have medical people on staff here.
The MVP Athletic Club. All right, we have some climbers at Scrapyard Climbing. The Scrapyard Climbing Collective opened in January, a new indoor activity for the Holland community.
Have you ever tried that, Gary?
And considering my issues with the scaffolding.
Those of you who don't know, Gary fell off this thing like 2 years ago.
Last year.
Last year. Seemed like 2 years ago to you, though. Now we have a ladder here to get you up.
Yeah, Village Self-Storage. Are you moving, accumulating too much around the house? Village Self-Storage can certainly help out. And they have a nice little vintage truck at Village Self-Storage. All right, time for the Marching Hawkeyes of Hamilton.
And the director is Joe Herrick. You got it.
Let's hear the Hawks. Next up, it's the second-term Republican representative from Park Township. His name is Jim Lilly. And some people are probably thanking him because new legislation that has been signed into law to put some more restrictions on the fireworks.
Oh, cool.
And it was Mr. Jim Lilly who helped draft that legislation.
And speaking of fireworks, what do we have tonight, Gary?
We should have a pretty good show over
Collins Park.
Over Collins Park, over Lake Mac. Time for the best Dutch entry, and that is from our friends at Freedom Village. They get the best Dutch entry float for this year. Congratulations to our friends at Freedom Village.
I got to ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
When does Farmers Market start?
This coming Wednesday.
Okay, and that's going to be right down here?
8 a.m., 8 to 3 at the Herring of Holland Civic Center outside. And there's new regulations, as in don't bring your dog unless it's a service dog.
Well, that's been that way for a while.
But now it's on the books.
Oh, okay.
Our friends from WWMT, Sinclair Broadcasting down in Kalamazoo, that is Channel 3, that takes care of CBS programming throughout West Michigan. Next up, our friends from the Michigan Youth Challenge Academy out of Battle Creek. No-cost National Guard-sponsored program for at-risk youth from the ages of 16 to 18.
And they've been with us for a number of years. Yeah.
And I'm glad they are here in light of the fact that a noted military school, Howell Military School, is closing this year down in northern Indiana.
Okay.
So, you know, they're still going very strong. Tulip City Ghostbusters, we talked to them earlier this spring, founded 3 years ago. And yes, they do have the official imprimatur of the
Bill
Ghostbusters.
Murray in that group?
And the only thing is they have a Jeep in the vehicle. It's not the converted old long limousine, long ambulance of the 1960s vintage. But who are you going to call? Ghostbusters. Youth for Christ. West Michigan Youth for Christ reaches 11 to 19-year-olds in Ottawa, Kent, Muskegon counties with the good news of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
Cool beans.
West Michigan Youth for Christ, welcome. Time now for the American Royal Beauties. Ariana Gonzalez, the 2018 National Sweetheart. Susie Davila, 2018 Miss Michigan Junior Teen. Brooklyn Yarman, the 2018 Miss Michigan Preteen. Braylon Schmaltz, the Miss Northern States Preteen. And Athena Daniels, the Miss Indiana Princess. Ladies, welcome.
And again, we missed Ari Barber Ford when we were talking about dealers that help provide transportation for some of the floats down here, and they just went by. So thank you to Ari Barber Ford also.
The Vietnamese American Association of Michigan, we want to express gratitude for all that's been done by our friends at the Vietnamese American Association of Michigan. Welcome.
You're on the air, and now you're on video. Yeah.
Very nice. We welcome them. Lakeshore Habitat for Humanity's tiny home was built by volunteers, representation of 149 Habitat homes built in our community.
Isn't that remarkable? 150 homes.
In 29 years. They'll have their 30th anniversary next year.
And they just keep going, and that's just a great part of this community.
Number 150 being built on Holland's north side. Time to say hello to the first-term state senator, but
he's another guest on your show.
A three-term state representative.
You better say hi to him.
We will say hi to the owner of Victory Farms in Hudsonville. He is Roger Victory, the Republican who represents Holland and the Lakeshore, at least the northern part of it, from in the state Senate. Time to welcome the River Rats of Black River Public Schools. This band knows how to march. They don't. They're on the flatbed.
Yeah. The only marching band that's on a float.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Let's say hello to Gorilla Grills. Local barbecue company encouraging eating at home, healthy cooking, and family experience at Grilla Grills.
They got a grill on the back of that one. That's cool. Wood pallets, smokers, and grills. Deep wood flavor.
We welcome our friends from St. Willibrord Orthodox Church, dedicated to the memory of St. Willibrord, the 9th century evangelist who brought Christianity to the Netherlands. Now our friends from the Holland Museum, and they just recently acquired a 1920 Holland furnace wooden parade
You were
wagon.
talking about this earlier, and you wanted
Yes.
to see it. It was in the parade, I think,
On Wednesday.
on the Volks parade, but was not here for Kinder. It's back.
Yep. And the Holland Furnace Company, this wagon could have been as part of the first Tulip Time in 29.
And you could talk a little bit about that connection with Holland Furnace.
Yes, because Holland Furnace used to bring, in the 1930s, Hollywood stars to Holland.
Guess what? It's Bowerman Blueberries.
And the donuts are here. Bowerman's Blueberries, been open since 1954, 65 years now.
Look at these guys over there. They all want a donut.
Ah. I know it's not the season yet, but
it's always
Bowerman's
the season for
Blueberries
donuts.
will be coming soon. We go now to Division 4. We welcome the Vietnam Veterans of America, Chapter 73, representing men and women that served in the Vietnamese conflict. Established in 82, they have started doing fundraisers to help raise money for veterans in needs. Gentlemen and ladies, thank you.
The crowd stands and applauds as the Vietnam Veterans of America pass by.
They didn't get the respect when they first came back in the 70s. They do get it now. Again, thank you.
If you've ever had anybody in the military in your family that served in the war, you know, it's not just the victims that died, it's the victims that came home that have all of this stuff in their head and heart that
and one
we
thing
just have no idea what that's like.
One thing my dad, who served with distinction in Korea, he always made it a point to support the Salvation Army. They helped him in Korea. And Holland Salvation Army, impressive windmill behind the Holland Salvation Army Band. And as you mentioned, Nick, new facility just east of Holland. I remember when they unveiled the plans for it a few years ago. Very ambitious to raise the money. They did it. Wow. Very nice facility.
And of course, what do we always do during Christmas time?
The bell ringers?
Yeah, bell ringers. Yep, you ever done that?
The red kettle.
It's a fun
no,
thing
I have
to do.
not done that, but I have talked to a few that have.
That's a fun. Well, you're talking to one right now who has. It's a great experience.
Let the family fun begin at T Customs, Holland's one and only Ice Bear Motorsports dealer. Mopeds for the teen, one-of-a-kind, street-legal, Mad Dog bikes, trikes, and quads.
These things are just, I mean, it used to be, you know, Cushman Eagles. Now they're on steroids. These things are cool.
By the way, Nick will have one. We'll have your Cushmans here in a little bit.
Oh,
Don't worry.
This is cool. When I grow up, I want to drive one of those things.
We welcome our friends from Grace Episcopal Church. Year-long sesquicentennial. Parish received in the diocese June 10th, 1868. Welcome, Grace Episcopal Church.
It's located on about 24th Street and Michigan. They have the Feed America there, I think, periodically. That's always a great contribution to those in need.
Nick Weber, my name is Gary Stevens. Glad you are listening to the coverage of the 2019 90th Tulip Time Festival Quality Car Wash Music Parade. We'll have more music in a moment, but first, Remax of Lakeshore and the distinctive balloon, located here in the heart of downtown Holland, and they're also taking a page.
There's a Sleeman gang.
They're also taking a page from West Ham United with the balloon, with the bubbles being blown.
And I like these people too, because I work with Holland Police Department a little bit with interviewing candidates that are going into law enforcement, and they have let us use their building, which is really cool. So I appreciate that.
West Ottawa 7th grade band of the directors Jenna Schroeder and Jake Lubbers. And
again, this is a combined band of both Macatawa Bay and Harbor Lights 6th, 7th, and 8th grade middle school buildings. We'll pick up some of their music.
That is the 7th grade band of West Ottawa High School. Time now for the Big Dutchman. Began as a hatchery in New Zealand, still located in Holland today. And the distinctive Big Dutchman old Ford pickup. Big Dutchman Poultry and Feeder Farm Services. West Ottawa Robotics Team, or the Wobot Team, 25th year. Member of the first robotics competition.
That is a great way to connect the classroom to the workplace. And if you've ever had kids in it, I've had 3 of them in it. It's just been wonderful. And 2 of them have really been it. One's an engineer, the other one's in a tech director for a school system. And a lot of that comes right back to their hands-on connecting the workplace with the classroom. And we just thank you for those people that in business that help with these kids, mentor these kids in these different programs at Zeeland, Holland High School, West Ottawa. It's just in Holland Christian. It's just been a great
Next up
way.
is Lakeshore Family Chiropractic, leading health and wellness advocates and educators in Holland. Welcome, Lakeshore Family Chiropractic.
Tulip Time.
Yes.
Yep, go ahead, Gary.
Go ahead, sir.
Tulip Time 2019 brought to you in part by our good friends at Lighthouse Title Group, by Compound Door, Elhart Automotive Group, Love's Travel Stop and Country Store, Randy's Carpet, and Bruchelle Sales.
The Michigan Falun Dafa Association, Falun Dafa, an ancient meditation practice, introduced in 1992, practiced in over 100 countries worldwide. They have made the trek across the state with classes and workshops in the metropolitan Detroit area. We welcome the Michigan Falun Dafa Association.
It's a pretty float coming up, Gary.
Yes, that is part of the Michigan Falun Dafa Association float. And again, we welcome them making the trek and from the Detroit area here. And I hate to say it, as of right now, because of all the constructions, it's a case of sometimes you just can't get there here from there
easily,
the east side of the county because of the construction. We've honored the Red Flannels. We've had Blueberries talking about. We got the Frankenmuth people. How about the Michigan Apple Committee? Celeste Lemieux of Conklin, the 2019 Michigan Apple Queen, accompanied by first runner-up Lauren Freeland of Kent City. Michigan third in the nation in apple production with more than 16 varieties of apples grown.
And we got a lot of them right over here in the Cranes Orchard. Yep. Oh.
Ladies, welcome the Michigan Apple Committee.
And riding in a convertible and enjoying every bit of it.
Time now for the Holland Christian Middle School Band under the direction of Matt Veenstra. Majorette squad trained by Tracy Wimpy of Encore Twirling. Christian Middle School Band. American House of Holland, senior living community, providing an enriching environment, enables you to live in a comfortable lifestyle.
Looks like
American
some of the
House
residents,
of Holland.
Yep, some of the residents are in the van down here.
Disability Network Lakeshore, Pars for a Purpose, one-man golf marathon fundraiser taking place on June 18th. Clear Brook Golf Club in Saugatuck. Pars for a purpose. As the executive director, Todd Whiteman of Disability Network Lakeshore, is going to try to golf 500 holes in a day from dawn to dusk. Goal of trying to raise $25,000. All right, Nick has now stepped aside. I'm killing his microphone because he is maize and blue. However, for those of us who like the green and white, Zeke the Wonder Dog is here. Zeke the Wonder Dog started in 1978, a mainstay at Spartan Stadium for the past 20 years. We welcome Zeke the Wonder Dog, and Nick will be back with us in a moment here. He has shown his distaste for the green and white, which might be the sign of ultimate respect because
Michigan State has gone to the Dogs.
Michigan fans used to always say we only have one rival, and that's Ohio State.
That is correct.
Time now for Champion Gymnastics USA. As a U.S. National Team Training Center, training the best athletes in West Michigan for 25 years, and they're
showing it off.
Showing their flexibility.
Look at that.
We welcome Peg and Ed. Peg McNichol and Ed Verskura, however, they are not in the broadcast location.
Ed's in there listening to Skipping at Home. Skipping Home, Eddie.
The new Chevrolet that is, we thank our friends at Denoyer Chevrolet.
And Deb's in there running the wheel. She said she was going to be there today. That's cool.
Let's say hello to the Holland Elks Lodge 1315, part of the Holland community.
Look at that. Look what's up front. That thing is huge.
Yes.
They got a big elk head out there.
The Elks Club with scholarship programs, Hoop Shoot, Elks National Foundation, Michigan Major Projects, supporting veterans, high school area scholars.
I think of the Elks, I think of my buddy Stan Simbo, who's passed away, really involved with that.
Combination of 7th and 8th graders from Hamilton Middle School. It's the Hamilton Middle School
Hi,
Band.
Sarah.
We've had the Camaro Club. Now it's time for the Corvette Club. It's formed in February of '97. Meets on a monthly basis. The Lakeshore Corvette Club, second Tuesday of every month. April, October, members meet in the parking lot of Family Farm and Home on Chicago Drive and cruise to various locations. The Lakeshore Corvette Club and a variety of vintage, well, I don't want to say vintage.
These look like they're pretty new.
They're relatively new.
Yep. Hard tops, T-tops, convertibles.
The Corvette has been a part of Americana for more than 50 years there. Nick, you know, it's...
Yep.
Some say the epitome of the American muscle car, although our friends at Dodge and Ford might have some questions.
The Challenger,
Yes.
the Mustangs, and yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. It's time to welcome Sinterklaas.
Well, you know what? It still feels like winter, Gary, so it's not out of place. Generally, I mean, some years you go home and you're freezing, some years you go home and you're sweating. But the show goes on, right?
Sinterklaas here, courtesy of
Now,
the
who is
Holland
it?
Visitors Bureau.
It's Sinterklaas, exactly.
Yes. And, of course, it's a
He's
reminder.
got his entourage with him.
And keep in mind, Sinterklaas will be here riding the white horse on these... for the Sinterklaas Parade, first week in December. And, of course, all the winter
festivities that go
festivities, November 16th through December the 7th. Detroit Red Tail is rolling the Tuskegee Airmen into the American car culture. The centerpiece of Detroit Red Tail,
That's
2011 Ford Mustang, custom wrapped to emulate the Red Tail P-51 Mustang fighter planes, flown in Europe in World War II by the 332nd Fighter Group, famously known as the Tuskegee Airmen. The Holland Community Aquatic Center pleased that they got a $26.3 million bond issue passed.
Hi, Amanda.
We welcome our friends from the Holland Community Aquatic Center, and they, too, are blowing the bubbles in the vintage of West Ham United Football Club. The Boys and Girls Club of Greater Holland, the Youth of the Year on Hell Verdusco. The Boys and Girls Club of Greater Holland, and
Oh, this is interesting.
the Holland Christian Schools Explorers. We had Sergeant Eric Westphier of the Ottawa County Sheriff's Department's Marine Unit on Talk of the Town earlier this week. And the Marine Unit being displayed now, getting ready for another busy year on Lake Michigan and Lake Mac. The West Michigan Lakeshore Association of Realtors, dedicated to the growth of real estate professionals in the future of their communities, hire a realtor. The West Michigan Lakeshore Association of Realtors. Holland Middle School Band, represented by 7th and 8th grade band members. We welcome Pounce and the Davenport Panthers, the newest member of the Great Lakes Intercollegiate Athletic Conference, to the Tulip Time Festival.
Have you been out to see their facilities at all,
Yes,
Gary?
I have.
It's top notch. I'm glad to see that.
Holland Cakery and Sweets, owned by Katie Jo Bopp, offers many sweet treats ranging from cakes and cupcakes to cookies and cake pops. They were even asked to do Elton John's birthday cake. It might have been the most famous, but they are very pleased to have a lot of good things at Holland Cakery and Sweets.
Well, Tulip Time, the music parade, brought to you in part by our good friends at Lighthouse Title Group, by Compound Door, by Elhart Automotive Group, Love's Travel Stops and Country Store, Randy's Carpet Care, Rochelle Sales, Metal Flow, Vanderveen's Dutch Store, Dutch,
Yes.
Earl's Meats, Nature's Market, Windmill Restaurant, home of the
Hash brown omelet. Yes.
and Mapleview Animal Hospital. Of course, they're with us every morning.
Yep.
And then, of course, Van Weeren's Hardware Store, located on the north side, and that's a wonderful facility also.
Let's make this legal. You're listening to coverage of the Quality Car Wash Tulip Time Festival Music Parade on 99.7 and 1450 WHTC Holland and online at WHTC.com. Elephants on parade. Well, we have a parade and we have elephant. Well, it's the Ottawa County Republicans. Our friends from the Ottawa County Republicans marching in the parade. Of course, they are trying to make sure that their candidates get exposed and ready to go for not only for the 2020 elections. The Vintage Car Club of Holland is next, formed in 1974 with the vehicles from every decade from the 1900s to the present. Any year, any model, any condition is the motto of the Vintage Car Club of Holland, meeting 7:30 Tuesday, fourth Tuesday evening of every month at the Holland City Fire Station number 2. We have a variety of vehicles, 47. Rumble seat in the back being deployed. A 41 Skyway Land Cruiser.
You ever been to Gilmore's car collection?
I have not yet. Mr. Don and I will be making a trip courtesy of our friends at the Gilmore Car Museum down in Hickory Corners.
The T-Bird down here coming up.
Vintage T-Bird.
About a 1955, 57,
Two-seater.
somewhere around there.
Now, that's a two-seater. And then we do have a early 70s vintage.
Yep, 72 maybe.
Corvettes. Yep. The Vintage Car Club of Holland. We say hello to our friends at Consumers Credit Union. Walking $100 bills. Walking $100
Yes.
bills. There. If we do a count, there's about maybe 1,200 on there.
Yeah.
While they're walking right now. We welcome our friends from Ileana Christian High School. Now at Dyer, it used to be at Lansing, Illinois, now in Dyer, Indiana, about 500 students. And the wind ensemble consistently receives first divisions in their competitions. Welcome the Ileana Christian High School Marching Band. That is the Ileana Christian High School Marching Band paying homage to Andrew Holtz and the Saugatuck High Marching Band with the Washington and Lee Swing. That is our fight song. Okay. And I
Something
guess,
for everyone, Gary.
well, I have to, be nice to people that are nice to me for the last 10 years. We welcome the National Cherry Queen, Grace Spoils, born and raised in Traverse City. And Nick, she's a maize and bluer. She's currently attending the University of Michigan. Double majors, communications and creative writing. Grace Spoils, the 2019 National Cherry Queen.
And I think that's right around 4th of July, isn't it, Gary? Somewhere around there?
Yep. And with cherries, you got to have a little sugar to go with it. Michigan Sugar Company, makers of Pioneer brand sugar. Michigan Sugar Cream Paige Lupke. First attendant Rachel Phillips and second attendant Ashley Gibbs are on the Pioneer Sugar Float. And Pioneer Sugar, we welcome our friends from the Tri-Cities and not the Lakeshore's Tri-Cities. Bay City, Saginaw, Midland. That's where Pioneer Sugar is based out of. The Pulaski Days coming up. Part of the Tulip Time for the past 30 years. In fact, they've been part of West Michigan for 47 years. Emma Arsolowitz and Katie Egan in the convertible today. The Frisian Connection horse originates from Friesland, province in the northern part of the Netherlands. Black in color with flowing mane and feathering hair on the feet. First imported to Michigan in the early 1980s. It's gained in popularity. It's the Frisian Connection. And yes, there is the collection at the end.
I didn't realize there was a big distinction, but if you go to the Netherlands, the Fries is to the north, the Dutch
Yes.
are to the, and my mother was Fries, and she said, Fries are different.
Lena Hansen, the 2018 Miss Danish Festival Queen, and her Queen's Court.
Out of Greenville?
The Danish.
Yeah, that's okay.
The Danish Festival Queen. The festival's coming up. And
Can you walk on your hands like that, Gary?
No, I
didn't
cannot
think so.
and don't want to even try.
Look at that. Get out of here.
The Avalon School of Arts is doing this. 15 years of classes.
And it's
The bring
paying off.
glasses
Yep.
to West Michigan. The AvalonSchoolofArts.com. We welcome them to the Tulip Time Festival. Holland Sentinel. We welcome our friends from down 8th Street
They're back home.
in a big Chrysler. I want to say B-52s. They're riding in a Chrysler, big as a whale. It's about to set sail. Time to welcome the Matawan High School Marching Band from down in Matawan Way. best tulip display in the Music Parade is the first robotics competition. And they get their float in front of us. For inspiration and recognition of science and technology, that's first, founded in '89 by Dean Kamen, Holland First Robotics, and it looks pretty distinctive, I'll tell you that.
And they got some of the robots on the float that are operating, and every year it's a different game, and the kids are given their directions, and, along with their adult mentors.
Cottage Home.
Bonzak!
Yes.
Good to see you.
Cottage Home,
Hi,
a
guys.
design build
Hey, Sean.
company located in downtown Holland for over 20 years, teaming up with the Michigan Maritime Museum down in South Haven
These are a work of art.
for a
Gary.
second consecutive year at Tulip Time. The Lindy Lou Riverboat will accompany the Friends Goodwill Tall Ship, bringing a unique historical and interactive opportunity for attendees. Cottage Home. Distinctive boats, wooden boats. And some of the loveliest people are walking this way. It's from the Tulip City Beauty College. Part of Moore Beauty Schools, locations in Holland, Traverse City, St. Joseph, Granger, Indiana. Locally owned business, over 60 years experience in training future beauty professionals. That's Tulip City Beauty College.
They're all colorful, very colorful today.
The National Asparagus Festival, June 7th, 8th, and 9th.
That's coming up.
Kendra Larios Mendez is the asparagus queen. Oceana County, the National
That's up
Asparagus
north a little bit, right?
Festival.
That's up by Hart, that
Yep.
area, Shelby, that area. Yep.
Number one crop up there. And we welcome Kendra and the National Asparagus Festival to our Tulip Time Festival. Jelsma Veterinary Clinic opened the doors in '98, located in Hudsonville. Pets and clients treated like family. And there's a couple of puppies there. Actually, 3 puppies.
One of them is a golden doodle.
Yep.
I can recognize that.
Welcome to Jelsma Veterinary Clinic. Miss Shoreline Scholarship Organization, established in '05, focused on empowering young women to pursue their education, developing important interpersonal skills, and giving back to their communities.
This is a good group of guys.
Hudsonville Creamery and
ladies.
Ice Cream, they've been part
Gotta
of the
love it.
Holland scene for more than 10 plus years since relocating on the
there's-
south side.
Hey, Bowman! Michael!
Hudsonville Creamery and Ice Cream. We welcome them to the Tulip Time Festival. PKSA Karate. They're small but mighty tiny tigers, little ninjas. Beginner belts, advanced belts, black belts, competition demonstration teams. PKSA Karate. They have a newly built training facility off of West Shore Drive on Holland's north side. PKSA Karate. Well, 5 divisions down, 1 more division to go, Nick Weaver.
Oh, these kids are running. They catch up. That's cool.
Not only to catch up, but also maybe to stay warm. It's a little brisk, I should say.
Well, you know, there's been years where we're concerned about people with the heat, and we don't have to worry about that today.
No, it's very nice. And good crowd on hand, as we mentioned before.
Oh, this is terrific. This is a wonderful crowd here today.
The Holland, Zeeland, Grand Rapids Indian community, and we're talking about the nation, India. Showing unity in diversity. A colorful float decorated, hosting energetic Indian crowd making music movements to lively music. The Indian community of Holland and Zeeland. Welcome.
Hey, they're
All
here.
right, now Nick Weaver is now leaving the scaffolding because the West Michigan Cushman Club is here, and they got a Cushman ready for Nick to ride in.
I'm remember sitting in junior high school and watching some of the high school students drive these things home after school. Hey, Eagle 1960. I graduated from high school in '64. And the kids that had those, they were the cat's meow.
Yeah, they're the cool ones.
And they're still cool.
The Cushman, the West Michigan Cushman Club, 40 active and enthusiastic members, scooters from the 50s and 60s.
Cushman Eagles.
Yes.
Yep.
Olivia Grace and Company honored to present Lita, the Tulip Princess, along with a few of her royal friends from our cast of over 40 characters. Dedicated hundreds of hours and thousands of dollars to creating the highest quality theme park level professionally trained characters. Olivia Grace and Company. Follow them on Instagram or Facebook for details about upcoming events and character appearances. Olivia Grace and Company. And the kids are certainly enjoying the characters.
They're entertaining right now. That's cool.
We welcome our friends from the Columbia Central High School Band.
Where are they
Golden
located?
Eagles out of Brooklyn, Michigan. Brooklyn in the Irish Hills, most notably the home of the Michigan International Speedway, the Columbia Central Golden Eagle Marching Band. Up next is Gordon Water Systems, supporting the Tulip Time and the 90th anniversary in a '63 Chevrolet Corvair. Distinctive vehicle, Mr. Weber.
Yeah.
Sort of half car, half